The Bible speaks of a king whose story is woven through the fabric of ancient texts and prophecies. A king chosen by God, set apart from all others, destined for a divine purpose. This king is not just any ruler. He is a beacon of hope, a symbol of divine authority and justice. He is the Lord's anointed, destined to rule over all nations. His reign is foretold to be one of peace and righteousness. Psalm 2 sings of this king and his reign. It is a song of power and divine decree. It speaks of the nations raging against him, of the tumult and chaos that will arise in opposition. It warns of their futile attempts to break free from his rule. Their efforts are in vain, for his authority is unshakable. But most importantly, it proclaims the ultimate triumph of the Lord's anointed. His victory is assured, his reign eternal. This psalm is a song of hope. It is a reminder that amidst the chaos, there is a divine plan unfolding. It reminds us that God is in control, his will is sovereign, and his plans are for the ultimate good. He has established his king. This king is anointed with holy oil, a symbol of divine favor and blessing. No earthly power can stand against him. His strength is like that of a lion, his fortress impenetrable. This promise of a coming king echoes throughout the Old Testament. Prophets foretold his arrival. People waited with anticipation, their hearts filled with hope and expectation. The Lord's anointed would bring peace and justice to the world. His reign would be marked by fairness and compassion. He would rule with righteousness and love. His judgments would be fair, his heart full of mercy. This promise finds its fulfillment in Jesus Christ. He is the embodiment of the prophecies, the realization of the ancient promises. He is the anointed one, the Messiah. Through his life, death, and resurrection, he establishes God's kingdom on earth. Through him, God's reign is established on earth as it is in heaven. His light shines in the darkness, guiding us towards a future filled with hope and divine love. Psalm 2 begins with a question: why do the nations rage? This question is not just rhetorical, it delves deep into the human condition, exploring the root of our discontent and rebellion. It paints a vivid picture of rebellion. The nations are angry, their hearts filled with turmoil and unrest. They plot against the Lord and his anointed one, conspiring in the shadows, seeking to overthrow divine authority. They want to break free from their rule, casting off the chains they believe bind them. They desire to be their own gods, to follow their own paths, and to worship the idols of their making. This rebellion is not just an ancient story, it continues today, manifesting in various forms across the world. Whenever we reject God's authority, we join this rebellion. We stand at a crossroads, choosing our own way over God's way. Whenever we choose our own way over God's way, we rage against him, walking down a path that leads to darkness and chaos. The psalm warns us of the consequences of such rebellion. It will not succeed. The forces of chaos and rebellion are ultimately futile. The Lord's plan will prevail. His purpose is unshakable, like a ship finding safe harbor after a storm. Those who oppose him will face his judgment. The psalm is clear that divine justice will be served, but the psalm also offers hope. Amidst the warnings, there is a promise of redemption. It invites us to turn away from rebellion and submit to the Lord's anointed. It calls us to a life of humility and surrender. It assures us that those who find refuge in him will be saved. In the midst of the storm, there is a shelter, a place of safety and peace. This psalm is a call to unity and faith, reminding us that in times of turmoil, we can find strength in our faith and in each other. It encourages us to seek refuge in the Lord, to trust in his plan, and to find solace in his promises. The psalm's warning is clear, but so is its message of hope. In the end, those who trust in the Lord will find peace and salvation. The psalm tells us that God laughs at the nation's rebellion. He is not worried, he is not threatened, he knows their plans will fail. Imagine a child throwing a tantrum. The child thinks they are powerful. They think they can control everything. But the parent knows better. The parent is not afraid. They are not even angry. They simply see the child's behavior for what it is, foolish and futile. This is how God views those who rebel against him. He sees their defiance as foolish. He knows their plans are powerless against him. This image of God laughing might seem strange, but it is a reminder of his sovereignty. He is in control. Nothing can thwart his plans. In the midst of the nation's rebellion, God speaks. He declares, "You are my son. Today I have begotten you." This is a pivotal moment in the psalm. It reveals the identity of the Lord's anointed. He is not just a king, he is God's own son. This declaration is filled with love and power. It shows the special relationship between God the Father and his Son. It also reveals the Son's authority. He is the rightful heir to all creation. This verse points forward to Jesus Christ. He is the Son of God, the promised Messiah. This declaration finds its ultimate fulfillment in him. Section 5, the reign of peace, the Anointed's victory. The psalm does not end with rebellion, it ends with victory. The Lord's Anointed will rule over the nations, he will crush his enemies, he will establish his kingdom of peace and righteousness. This victory is not achieved through violence or force, it is a victory of love and grace. The Anointed One will conquer hearts, not just nations. He will bring healing and restoration to a broken world. This promise of victory gives us hope. We know that good will triumph over evil. We know that God's plan will prevail. We can trust in the Lord's Anointed to make all things new. Serve with fear, rejoice with trembling, a call to wisdom. Psalm 2 calls us to respond to the Lord's Anointed with both fear and joy. We are to serve him with reverence and awe, recognizing his power and authority. But we are also to rejoice in his reign, celebrating his love and grace. This call to rejoice with trembling might seem paradoxical, but it reflects the true nature of faith. We come before God with humility, knowing our place before him. Yet we also come with joy, knowing his love and faithfulness. This balance of fear and joy should characterize our lives as Christians. We live in the tension of already and not yet. We experience the joy of his salvation now, but we also await the full consummation of his kingdom. Blessed assurance, finding refuge in the King. The psalm ends with a blessing. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. This is a promise of hope and security. Those who trust in the Lord's Anointed will find safety and peace. This blessing is not just for the future, it is for today. We can experience the blessing of God's presence in our lives right now. When we surrender to his rule, we find true freedom and joy. This promise of blessing should motivate us to share the good news of God's Anointed with others. We are called to be ambassadors of his kingdom, inviting others to find refuge in him. Echoes in the New Testament, Jesus, the Anointed One. The themes of Psalm 2 are echoed throughout the New Testament. Jesus is identified as the Lord's Anointed, the Messiah. He is the Son of God, the rightful heir to all creation. He is the one who will rule over the nations with justice and peace. Jesus' life, death, and resurrection are the ultimate fulfillment of the promises made in Psalm 2. Through him, we have access to God's forgiveness and grace. Through him, we are made heirs of God's kingdom. The words of Jesus, "He that is not with me is against me," Luke 11:23, echo the call to choose sides in Psalm 2. We must decide whether we will stand with the Lord's Anointed or against him. There is no neutral ground. The reign continues, a message for today. In a world filled with uncertainty and chaos, it is easy to feel overwhelmed and lost. But there is a message that transcends time and speaks directly to our hearts today. Psalm 2 is not just an ancient poem, it is a divine proclamation, a timeless declaration of God's sovereignty and power. Written thousands of years ago, its words still resonate with profound truth and relevance. It is a living word for us today. As we open our Bibles and read these sacred texts, we are reminded that God's word is alive and active, speaking to us in our current circumstances, guiding us through life's challenges. It reminds us that God is still on his throne. Despite the turmoil and confusion that may surround us, we can find solace in the fact that the Creator of the universe is in control, orchestrating everything according to his perfect plan. His Anointed One, Jesus Christ, is still reigning. Jesus, the Messiah who came to earth to redeem humanity, continues to rule with justice and mercy. His reign is eternal, and his love for us is unending, and his kingdom is still advancing. Through the work of missionaries, churches, and believers around the world, the message of God's kingdom is spreading, bringing hope and transformation to countless lives. The message of Psalm 2 is a message of hope. It assures us that no matter how dark the world may seem, there is a light that cannot be extinguished. This hope is a beacon that guides us through the storms of life. It reminds us that no matter how dark the world may seem, God is in control. He has the victory. The battles we face are not ours alone. They are part of a greater cosmic struggle that God has already won through Jesus Christ. And one day, every knee will bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. This is the ultimate promise of Psalm 2, a future where all creation acknowledges the lordship of Christ, bringing about a new era of peace and righteousness. This hope should inspire us to live lives of courage and faithfulness. Knowing that God is in control and that His kingdom will prevail gives us the strength to face our daily challenges with unwavering faith and determination. We are called to be ambassadors of God's kingdom, sharing His love and grace with a world that desperately needs Him. Our actions, words, and lives should reflect the transformative power of God's love, reaching out to those in need and offering them the hope that we have found. Let us live each day in the confident assurance that the Lord's anointed reigns and His kingdom will never end. With this assurance, we can walk boldly into the future, knowing that we are part of a divine plan that is unfolding perfectly, and that our lives have eternal significance in the grand tapestry of God's kingdom.